So I was actually debating on whether or not to make this video for a while. I didn't want to sound like a broken record, fuck Rotor Riot, blah blah blah. I actually started this script a few times and then abandoned it. But I just watched Mad Tech and XJet's video about this, and it was kind of inspiring to see people in the community have the exact same feelings as me about this frankly disgusting move by Rotor Riot to get into the business of killing people. In case you're like, Rock Grinder, what the fuck are you talking about? Rotor Riot announced today that they're making bomb drones. And let's not fucking sugarcoat this, alright? FPV drones are not used to liberate, they are not used for freedom, they're used to fucking kill people. And a lot of times, those people are innocent civilians and children, and for whatever reason, the leadership at Rotor Riot decided they need to get in on that blood money. Now, if you don't know, you don't have to read it. If you don't know, Red Cat, who is a drone data collection company, bought Rotor Riot, Fat Shark, and Teal drones a while back. They then recently started a new company called Unusual Machines and moved Fat Shark and Rotor Riot to Unusual Machines and started making military drones. In fact, you can check the Wayback Machine for Teal drones and you'll see how the company used to be. They just wanted everybody to experience the gift of flight. You know, they had quotes from Da Vinci and everything on there. It was a pretty like family-friendly beginner drone company. But now if you go to tealdrones.com, it's the ultimate battlefield UAV. Dominate your enemy with Teal Drones, a Red Cat company. A huge shift in how they started off after they got bought by Red Cat. And now we're seeing the exact same thing with Rotor Riot. Now there's a few reasons why I think this is super gross. One of them being the FAA in America is super cracking down on all kinds of drones. And here we have an American drone company based out of Puerto Rico for tax purposes. An American company that is extremely embedded in the hobbyist space of FPV, now creating the exact thing people are afraid of. Killer drones using off-the-shelf hobbyist parts. I mean, in Red Cat's promotional video for their payload test, they're using a Rotor Riot bind and fly. Bubby, are you cool with your Moxie getting bomb strapped to it and fucking blowing up schools? Let's Fly RC, what if a tank shows up in the rubble of a fucking exploded hospital? How are y'all gonna feel about that? And let me get this straight, the cast of Rotor Riot, no problem against those people. I think they're fucking fantastic folks. I hope they do super well in the FPV space after this. They're all lovely people. But at some point, you know, I think they have to ask themselves, am I cool promoting a company that is so easily and readily turning hobbyist drones into weapons? Jed's video, he played devil's advocate and he said, you know, the point of a company is to make money. So if an FPV company sees that there's money to be made in the militarization of drones, then they're gonna go for it. Well, I kind of disagree. Yeah, the point of a company is to make money, but if that money comes from the suffering and death of other people, you could just say no. You can say no, I'm not gonna make that. Like, I'm sure Rotor Riot, Red Cat, they're all making plenty of money without having to fucking bloody their hands and start doing shit like this. But maybe that's just me. You know, money isn't super important to me. Yeah, it's cool to have money and shit, but I would never compromise on my morals just so I could fucking buy a Tesla or something stupid like that. And that brings me to another point. You can use whatever words you want, dominate the battlefield, public safety, you know. These are all just words for killing perceived enemies, and Rotor Riot, Red Cat are now in the business of supplying these drones to the highest bidder. For those of you that say, man, I don't care, you know, I just want to have fun and fly drones, like I get that for sure, but you can buy the same drones from other companies that have way more ethical leadership. There's a lot of small FPV companies that literally, the money you give them, they use that to pay the mortgage on their house, to feed their kids, to throw inexpensive FPV events for the community. They don't take that money and spend it on R&D for fucking bomb drones or dumbass YouTube videos that get destroyed in the comments. These are no longer hobbyist drones. These are now, in Red Cat's own words, first-person view lethal strike machines. Red Cat has taken something that we once used for mental health, to spend time with our family, to spend time with our friends, and put a fucking bomb on it. This is why people are now boycotting Rotor Riot. They are not just a company owned by Red Cat, but they are working hand in hand with Red Cat to create these drones. And by giving them your money and buying stuff from them, you're enabling that behavior from them. And I know in an age of Amazon and Temu, people are kind of desensitized to being conscious with their money, and there's not much ethical consumption under capitalism for sure. But this is our little hobby. This is the little thing that gives us all so much hope, that we obsess over, that we live to do, you know? And there's enough of us in this niche little hobby that we can literally decide the fate of companies. We can decide which ones stick around and keep making stuff for us, and we can decide which ones go away by how we spend our money. And like I said earlier, there are a ton of FPV companies out there with far more ethical leadership than Red Cat Rotor Riot. So I want to see Rotor Riot go away in its current state, yes. But how it used to be, no. I may not care for them, But I say no for people like Bubby, Let's Fly RC, and all the folks who got their start with them. I want to see that continue to happen to people. As someone who's experienced it, it's pretty fucking cool when the thing you're most passionate about, when the thing that you obsess about, becomes your career and starts paying off financially. Although those days are long gone for rotor riot, they are not helping anybody with anything these days. But hopefully somebody can step up and take their place. Now y'all know me, I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind, but what really got me was XJet and Mads Tech making these boycott videos. It kind of proved to me I wasn't just being a hater or being unreasonable. Like, rotor riot's partnering with Unusual Machines to make bomb drones, and we all think that that's fucked up. It's kind of fucking wild, man. They announced that shit. What were they thinking? Like, the community who's pretty fucking anti-weaponizing our hobby is just gonna keep buying shit from you after this announcement? You're fucked. How fucking out of touch is your leadership with the community that you purport to care about? To me, this is a nail in the coffin for them, Fuck Rotor Riot, fuck Red Cat, fuck Unusual Machines. I hope you all care enough about the hobby and about this community, enough to make some noise about this shit. Do you remember when Remote ID was about to drop and everybody made videos? Big channels, small channels, everybody made videos, everybody got a ton of views, and we brought a shit ton of attention to the issue of Remote ID. If you care about this community and this hobby as a whole, I think it's time for us to send a message to Rotor Riot and to all future companies that plan on weaponizing our hobby. We will not stand for this. If you make drones for war, we're not gonna buy a fucking thing from you. Simple as that.